Yo, what
What's
up,
up,
though?
you guys? So I just want to start off by saying that I am very excited for the hero adjustments that they did for season 1. Very excited. They did a lot more than I expected them to, and so I wanted to go over each of the adjustments. So let's start off with Captain America, one of my favorite tanks. He is getting some changes, some buffs, and in my opinion, I feel like Captain America suffers in damage. He's great with mobility. He can play a little bit of front line. He can play a little bit of flank, back line. Personally, I love to use him more for like flanking and kind of closing gaps on supports that are constantly getting healed but not taking any damage and dying. One of my favorite tanks for sure, but even with his team up, he just doesn't have the DPS in my opinion. So he's getting some changes here. It looks like for the most part, they are making changes with his cooldowns and his health. So it doesn't really seem like they, well, based on these notes, it doesn't really seem like he's getting any changes with his DPS. But yes, you'll be able to pull up shield more often. You know, when you let go of the shield, you have to wait, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. So at least you'll be able to pull up his shield more often. Reduce Liberty Rush cooldown from 12 to 10 seconds. It's a great way to escape too. So being able to have that more often is really nice. They gave him more health as well. It looks like they are reducing his ult charge, but as a result, it looks like they are reducing the self-healing as well. So I don't know. Captain America, he's still one of my favorite tanks. I'm definitely gonna continue to pick him up some more and try and get him the Lord. But for me, I wanted to see more damage, more of a damage increase with him, just a slight, or maybe some kind of stun or slow maybe, but we'll see. He's still one of my favorites. So Doctor Strange, as you can see here, we will be reducing the threat range and increasing the defense window for Sorcerer Supreme. As damage fall off to most, they added damage fall off to Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom. Starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8 meters. So yeah, Doctor Strange, obviously he was one of the best tanks in season 0, so it's not very surprising that he's getting a nerf here. He helped me get to Grandmaster, so I'm very excited to have used him. He's such a satisfying tank to play. What I really love about Doctor Strange is that he can solo tank. He's a great solo tank. So to be able to play solo with him and not have to worry about having an off tank, you can have 3 DPS, 2 support, for example, or you could have, sometimes I've seen 3 support, 2 DPS, 1 tank. It just depends on like what the setup is. But when I'm playing Doctor Strange, I am totally fine with doing solo tank. But now he's being nerfed, so I wonder how that's gonna shake up next season. Thor, I believe Thor is getting a buff. So I haven't really played around with Thor yet, but it looks like they're trying to increase his survivability a little bit here. And his I guess maybe they thought his ultimate wasn't all that great, so they're giving him a bit more health and they're adding more immunity controls to his ultimate. So for those that don't already know, Thor, he has somewhat of an immunity when he is coming down, when he is slamming down onto the ground with his ultimate. And then that's just about it. So we'll see how Thor turns out. He's definitely not a solo tank. He does need to have a second tank with him to be very effective, in my opinion. But you know, he's very strong. His DPS is really good. I also want to try and give him a go at some point, but right now I'm just trying to get Strange to Lord. Hulk! Oh my god, before I even start with Hulk, the amount of Hulk, Iron Man, Doctor Strange that I've been seeing on the ladder, I am done. It needs to go away. Reduce indestructible guard, gamma shield value from 250 to 200, which means that his shield bubble will break more frequently. Hulk is really, really fun. The only thing I don't like about Hulk is that there are periods where when you're losing your Hulk form and you're on the payload or objective, it doesn't count you as being on the objective. But other than that, he's great in that he gives a lot of damage to Strange and Iron Man. Venom needs some love. It is nice to see that Venom is getting an update, a buff somewhere. I felt like Venom was great in the low ranks, or at least used more often during the low ranks, and then like as I climbed higher, it became more of like Strange and Hulk. But yeah, anyway, they're increasing his symbiotic health ratio a little bit so that he gets more bonus health when he pops the shield thing or whatever he does. The health bubble or whatever it's called. Increase the base damage of his ults from 40 to 50. I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like that is not enough. I still feel like Venom he's a fun tank, but I feel like this kit in general is just kind of boring and they need to do a bit more with it, in my opinion. That's how I see it. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the DPS. Black Panther is getting a nerf. Don't know. I feel like Black Panther is somewhat he's requires a bit of skill, a bit of good positioning, patience. So it's kind of interesting to see that he's getting a nerf, and maybe he is just that easy to pick up that they felt like he needed to get one. Black Widow is also getting some changes here. It looks like they made some changes to her melee. Her movement is a bit better. She can move a bit often, it seems. I don't know if this will be enough that people will want to play Widow though, honestly, but we'll see. Maybe, I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like there's just other characters that stand out more. Not saying Widow is bad. There are other characters that just stand out, that just do more. And that's where Widow kind of falls off. But we will see. Maybe this will help bring her back into season 1. Hawkeye is getting a much needed nerf. We already know. They're gonna nerf his DPS a little bit, slightly reduce spread angle between every 2 blast arrows. Reduce the triggering distance of passive ability Archer Focus from 60 meters to 40 meters. Reduce the maximum additional damage of the passive from 80 to 70. So a lot of DPS reduction and vision. Like you have to be within a certain distance as well to even get the damage that you're looking for. So definitely going to be a lot of a DPS reduction with Hawkeye, much needed. But I still feel like he's going to be a very popular pick for long range. I feel like he's still going to be picked over Widow. Hela, one of my favorite characters. I love Hela so much, but yes, she definitely needed a nerf. The Goddess of Death will slightly be decreasing her combat strength. So yeah, her damage is getting nerfed a little bit. Unfortunately, they did not specify the details, which is kind of annoying. They decrease her damage. I think right now she can do a headshot body shot and win against a 250. I think I'm not sure on the exact numbers, but they didn't specify. like come on. But they reduced her health from 275 to 250. I don't think this eliminates Hela completely, but it does mean you can't be missing shots. Hela is still going to be strong in that she has her ultimate. Her ultimate is just so freaking safe. You can't die in it, you can't be stunned, you can't be CC'd. And it does a lot of damage. It's just so good. And then you have Loki that can clone her. Like she's still gonna be good, but she does require that you hit shots. Like you cannot be missing shots with her. So we'll see if she's still in the game. I think she's still gonna be in the game, but we'll see. Magik needed to increase her threat after unleashing her ultimate ability. So it looks like she's just getting a slight damage buff to her ult. I felt like Magik was pretty good in season 0, so it only means that she's going to be better in season 1. Moon Knight. Moon Knight, in my opinion, is very, very threatening in the lower ranks. I feel like he's a great in the lower ranks in that nobody wants to destroy his onks. So you can just throw an onk down and just have at it. Nobody wants to destroy his onks. The only thing about Moon Knight that I don't like is his ultimate. And so I'm glad that they addressed his ultimate in this coming season. They buffed the radius of his ult, number one, and they increased the DPS, obviously the number of talents generated by hand. Ultimate ability gone from 10 to 14, so that's a huge increase in the DPS. So we'll see. I still feel like Moon Knight isn't gonna be like overpowered, but we'll see how he turns out. Namor, it looks like they're making his kit a bit more user-friendly with his spawns. So yeah, I think Namor is pretty good. Psylocke is so annoying. I hate that she gets CC immunity when she ults, and now they're having it to where they check for barriers, and I guess what they're trying to do here is make sure that she doesn't waste time ulting barriers and things like that, which is great, you know, from a design perspective. That's great. The Punisher, one of my favorite DPS, has gotten a slight buff. Very, very happy about that. The Punisher he helped me get to Grandmaster. I love him in that he has two ways of immunity to CC, either sitting on his turret or ulting, and then he has a bit of movement with his zip lines. He's extremely accurate, no recoil. His ultimate is very powerful. The only downside is that he doesn't get bonus HP. He gets the CC immunity, but no bonus HP. But yeah, if you can work around that, he is really, really good, paired up with a good rocket player, and you're going to be winning some games. So I'm most definitely going to be playing him again next season. But we'll see how he shakes up in the meta with everybody else getting. Scarlet, I feel like she would be really, really good, and she was really, really good in like the low ranks. It's nice to see that she's getting buffs. I did not expect it. Her main source of damage does percentage-based HP damage, and I didn't realize that until recently. So she was somewhat of a mini tank buster. I wouldn't say she's a tank buster like Wolverine, but she was somewhat of a mini tank buster. So they reduced that, and they're making her damage more effective against other DPS and support. So we'll see how that works out. Storm, much needed buff. My favorite DPS during the beta. I always felt that Storm had the most powerful ultimate before the game officially came out. You can't stun her. She gets immunity. She gets bonus health when she ults. The only problem that I had with Storm really is that I felt like her movement wasn't all that great. It was easy for her to get picked off. Not a lot of healers are going to look at her to begin with because she's in the sky. So her movement just kind of suffered a lot. I felt like her damage was just fine though. The amount of damage that she can dish out with her lightning strikes and her primary and her right click is really, really good. So it seems like the developers kind of felt like her damage needed to be looked at. So they increased the speed of her primary a little bit, and they increased the damage of her bolt rush. And then they also gave her more of a quality of life improvement with her hurricane. So after her hurricane ends, instead of her losing all of her bonus health, it just depletes over time. So yeah, it's crazy to see this with Storm. I'm just hoping that her speed feels a little bit better in the game. They didn't mention any of that here, so I'm hoping that they address that too. But other than that, I'm very excited. I can't wait to play her again. And hopefully I'll be able to play her on the ladder too, because as much as I love Punisher, I also love Storm a lot too. So Squirrel Girl, not really my character, but the main problem that I had with Squirrel Girl is that I felt like her ultimate was just really, really bad. It just felt like a joke. So it looks like they are increasing the effectiveness of her ultimate. Squirrels will rush towards the nearest enemy after bouncing instead of bouncing randomly. Reduce the squirrel tsunami health from 600 to 300. So it looks like the squirrels are going to be more accurate towards rushing towards enemies, but at the same time they're reducing the health of the ultimate to make up for that. So we'll see how that turns out for her. Soldier, Winter Soldier is a character that I also want to pick up, but he's not hit scan, so I'm not really interested at this time. But his ultimate is very, very fun. If I am playing Loki, I will clone him and go on from there. It didn't expect for him to get a buff, so it looks like they're giving him somewhat of an HP buff, a little bit of let's see, projectile damage and bonus health provided. It looks like they're giving him a bit of a HP buff when he pulls people in and things like that. So we'll see how that turns out. I feel like Soldier was already really good, so this just makes him better. Wolverine, very somewhat of a controversial character right now. A lot of people say he's really, really bad, and then a lot of people say that he's really, really good. I think that he was way too good in season 0, and people just took too long to figure it out. He does percentage-based health, so he can shred high HP targets for that very reason. If you are a tank player, it is a nightmare having to go against a really good Wolverine, because if he singles you out, he will shred you. The enemy team will shred you. Lastly, the support. So Cloak and Dagger received a buff. Cloak and Dagger are slowly growing on me. At first I didn't really like their healing. It felt like their primary source of healing was just lackluster, and then I learned that the primary healing actually has like an AoE effect. So it was a bit more understandable. But it looks like they are buffing the healing with the ultimate. So instead of going around 3 times, you can go around 4 times, which is very, very convenient. Reducing Dagger Storm cooldown from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. I believe that's her bubble. So that would be really nice too. Jeff is getting nerfed. We don't really need to talk too much about this. His ultimate was the problem. Jeff is getting a nerf to it. They're going to have it to where there's better warning signs. But other than that, like, the only way to get around Jeff's ult is obviously if you have CC immunity. You have CC immunity, all you have to do is look at your HP bar, and if there's a yellow border around your HP bar, that means that you have immunity to CC stuns, ice, anything. Luna Snow, people found out how to abuse her ult. I believe this was through changing keybinds with in the settings with the mouse wheel, and being able to switch between damage and healing. This came out just recently. I want to say like a little over a week ago. It hasn't even been that long, and the devs caught on it pretty quickly. So they didn't nerf her duration of her ult though. I am glad. Instead, they buffed Cloak and Dagger. So she's constantly getting banned. A lot of people don't like her because of how long her ult is lasting. But they didn't nerf it. They didn't nerf the duration. So we'll see how Luna turns out, especially with Invisible Woman being in the game. Like, is Luna still going to be at the top of the ladder, you know? Because of her ult, is she still going to be like a safe pick? I think so. But we'll see. Mantis is also getting nerfed to her passive, her movement speed passive. I believe what happens is if you haven't taken any damage, you can move faster. They're reducing that that boost from 2.5 milliseconds to 1.5 milliseconds instead. Not a big deal to Mantis. Mantis is already one of the best supports in the game. She has the highest win percentage in support right now. And so I think they're just trying to find a way to not necessarily gut her, but kind of get people to expand out of the Luna Mantis lineup here that we have. And so we'll see how that turns out for her. I think Mantis is still really going to be really good. Her healing is really, really good. Her DPS, the best part about her, is really, really good too. So we'll see. And then Rocket, did not expect Rocket to get a buff, but they are buffing his healing. As a tank player, I hate playing with Rocket. I just do. His healing is just so freaking slow. It's frustrating. But if I'm playing Punisher, totally fine with Rocket. Obviously, the team up is very beneficial. Team up abilities have been changed as well. I will note that one of my favorite ones, obviously being Rocket Raccoon, the interval has been the interval to use the team up has been dropped from 45 seconds to 40 seconds. So very, very good. I guess I'll also note this as well. The seasonal bonuses. And I don't know if the seasonal bonuses are going to carry over into the season 1. I felt like they would be removed or changed to other characters. Hopefully that's the case, because it'd be kind of weird to see Hela with a seasonal bonus again when she already currently has one. But it looks like they reduced the damage bonus that you get from 20% to 15%. Which again is another huge hit to Hela. Scarlet Witch and Magneto team up felt really, really good during the beta, and then I don't know, on official release it just felt so bad. I don't know what they did, but it looks like they are increasing the damage on it, and so I am very, very happy about that. I loved playing Magneto during the beta, and he helped me climb rank. He helped me climb the gold in the beta, but I have not liked him at all on release. And even with Scarlet Witch, it just didn't feel good. So with Scarlet Witch getting buffed, and with the team up between Scarlet Witch and Magneto getting buffed, it'll be crazy to see if we come across a Magneto Wanda combo more often. And then, of course, the team up with the Thor and Captain America. Again, in my opinion, I felt like the team up with Thor and Captain America still didn't really feel like he had that great damage with the team up. But we'll see. Maybe there's something there that wasn't noted in the patch notes. But it looks like Storm gets a benefit. Her team up with Thor was the lightning strike, or the chain lightning, didn't really feel all that good. Felt very clunky, felt really very bad in the damage. So I'm hoping that this team up will give her more of a boost. But yeah, in my opinion, W patch notes. Very, very impressed. Really, really glad that they provided numbers. You know, very, very happy. I can't wait to try out this new season. And I'm looking forward to it. We're just a couple of hours away. It'll be crazy to see how the meta will shake up with all of these changes on top of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman coming into the game. Let me know your thoughts on how you're feeling about the game, the season ending, maybe your rank, maybe any of the new changes, the new characters, the updates coming up. Let me know how you're feeling, and I'll see you all again next time.